Hello, welcome back to Morning Qi Gong. It is Sunday, July 12th. I need to adjust my camera just a little bit. This is, of course, the Levy Tai Chi School, and I am Lao Shi Paul Nettles, your humble service provider. Glad to be back with you. I was starting to wonder if I was going to make it this morning. We've had a very busy night with a expectant rescue cat and an elderly cat and just all the things that can interrupt sleep. But I'm here with you. And as you can see, I have run out of plain color t-shirts until I do laundry today. So I have worn a t-shirt that has very specific meaning to me, maybe not to everybody else, but the character you see drawn on the front there is Chinese and simply says fish, and of course there's the fish bone, the fish skeleton on there. And I bet you're wondering, how is he possibly going to work a fish into all this and make it make sense? Because you know me, I can't do anything without some kind of a reason. Watch me. One of the things that has always most appealed to me about in general, the Oriental mindset concerning philosophy especially, but also in how to proceed as a human in the world, is drawn from nature. The Eastern cultures seem to embrace the fact that we are integral parts of nature. We're not separate, we're not masters of, we are part of. And so if you delve into any kind of Tai Chi, any kind of Qi Gong, any kind of martial arts, any kind of so many things, you're going to find lessons, core lessons, drawn from nature. If you've taken Tai Chi, you know that at least half the postures have animal-based names. Golden Rooster stands on one leg, Dragon plays with Pearl, Push Tiger up mountain. Of course, the Qi Gong, Wise Owl gazes backwards. All these stars fall to earth. All these things tie into something in nature that would have been fairly obvious to people. It made for easy transmission of lessons for people who weren't literate, who couldn't read, who couldn't access books or papers of any kind, really. But it gives you a very specific idea of how to move. If you lived in China, you knew what a crane was. You saw them every day. You lived beside them. They were in the rice paddies and probably nesting on your house. You knew what mountains were. You were surrounded by them. You knew what clouds were. You knew what falling stars looked like. All these things had a very grounded basis in nature, and nature was right there with you. So when we think of fish, I think of koi, great big, slow-moving, beautifully colored, bottom feeders. Let's be honest. But they're beautiful fish. They seem to live forever, and they have a elegance in their movement that is partially due to their size. All fish move mostly the same way, but big fish move slower, and so you see that elegant, sinuous swish of the body that moves a fish through the water, a koi through the water especially. And of course, when they're brightly patterned, they're hard to miss, so you see these beautiful, slow, gentle movements in water. And we have, as teachers, often gone back to the idea of being in water when we teach Tai Chi especially, but it applies equally well to Qi Gong and to any movement we make. When you move mindfully, you can very easily see in your head, you can easily visualize moving through water. There's a slight resistance, a buoyancy, but a little resistance, a little gentle pressure on you at all times in every part of you that's immersed. And if you've ever tried to run through a pool, or if you've ever tried to jog in a pool or do any kind of aerobic style exercise in a pool, you know this, the physics of water make that extremely difficult. Water, in the simplest terms, and I can't explain it very well, in physics terminology, I think it's called a non-Euclidean fluid. But the faster you press against water, the more resistance it offers, which is an interesting challenge when you're trying to move fast. We're not, thankfully. We're trying to move slowly. So it becomes a simple matter for us then to imagine ourselves, if you want, as a koi, if you want, as yourself in a pool, but imagine that gentle pressure on you that slows your movements, that prevents you from racing through the form, that prevents you from stepping into your stance quickly, and you do it mindfully and carefully and with muscle strength, which is what we're aiming for, that slow, calm strength. The slow, calm strength of a very old, very wise koi in a pond. So, that's how I worked my t-shirt into today's lesson. Impressive, huh? Pretty cool. So, man's got a few tricks up his sleeve still. So, as you go through your form this morning, as we play together through our form, think about that koi. I'm sure you've seen koi. If you haven't, and you're local, I would strongly suggest you go to the Alexandria Zoo. I think the koi pond is stocked again. When you're not feeding them and they're in a frenzy of gaping mouths and flashing fins, they are gorgeous, moving slowly and calmly, seem to have nowhere important to be, with this beautiful slow grace. And that's what we're emulating in a way. We're emulating that gentle, sinuous movement of a koi. It is said in Chinese philosophy that koi grow to a certain point and they become dragons. Those long, sinuous, bewhiskered creatures you always see on beautiful embroideries and things and tapestries. Think of that same movement. Think of the swimming dragon Qi Gong. Think of a koi swimming. Think of that soft, sinuous movement, that mindful movement. That's our emulation for today. All right, let's begin with our first sow, my little fishes. Lifting the heavens. gazes backwards. Breathe out. Bow, shoot, tiger. stars fall to earth. marry heavens and earth and separate heavens and earth. stamp the earth. Well done, my beautiful koi. Well done. Yeah, I was thinking as I was spinning out that metaphor earlier about feeling the pressure of the water on you. We have the distinct, I won't call it luck, but the distinct opportunity with the humidity in this state to literally feel the air on us at all times, even when there's no breeze. But right now we've got a beautiful breeze going, but even when there's no breeze, you can feel the humidity resting on you. You can feel the air pressure resting on you in that dampness. Use that to your advantage. Think of that as an opportunity. When you can literally feel the air on you, you can feel the air moving around you as you move through it, as you gesture, as you push, as you lift. Use that as a reminder to slow a little bit. Think about moving through water in the same way the water moves over your hand and not through, or you don't lift the water. The air is the same. You move through the air. It rolls over your fingers, over your arms, and you can feel that quite literally. Use that. There's so many tools there that just need you to reach out and just grasp them and put them into play. Try that next time you go through your form, and not in an ironic manner. Do so in a very serious, mindful manner, but think of that as a sort of water you're moving through, and you have to move languidly. You can't force your way through it. The more you force, the harder it'll resist you. So you move with ease, with calm. That generates grace and strength and soothes the system. How can you beat that? All right. Back tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Central Standard Time, right here, same humid channel. And until then, the governor, of course, has levied the mandatory masking. Please embrace that so that we can all get this faster. I am ready, more than ready, to be done with lockdowns and concerns and not hugging friends and family and neighbors and worrying all the time about being sick. Let's get this behind us. Stay safe, please. Be well, please. I'll see you tomorrow morning.